everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Olivia. How are you all doing? It has been a little while now since my last color along, and the last one I can remember was the little mouse from the ivy and the inky butterfly, and I did it as a real-time tutorial, even though it's just a small one, and I got a lot of good response from you guys, and you said you really like it. So just a heads up, if you really into that kind of real-time talking color along, where I share a lot of different technique for advanced coloring or beginner coloring, make sure you check out my page on we color three pages every month, and is all vote by you guys. So make sure you check out my page on, and thank you a lot for doing that. Now that said, you guys really love the style, and so since I haven't been posting on YouTube, I has been very busy with both of my studying and Patreon. So and I want to publish my coloring book at the end of this year, so I've been so busy with time and everything, so I don't pay a lot of attention to YouTube as much as I did before. But I still want to go back here once in a while, update you guys and just color away. Now it's gonna be quite a bit of talking. I usually don't talk that much. I tend to get a bit quiet when we actually go into the coloring process. I talk a little bit at the beginning, okay? And if you don't like my talking or you don't like audio, just turn it off, put it on speed up if you want to, or just turn on some music, or you can go to another channel where it's suitable that you need. And for this color along, we are going to work in Botanicum by Maria Troll, and this one is actually the Swedish version. I'm not sure if it is Swedish, but I know it is not an English version. Back then, when this one released, Maria, a publisher, decided that they don't want to release it in English. Now, I know that there's going to be a new English version of this book come out. I don't record when it will come out, but you guys can get this book pre-order now. I will leave the link down below if you want to do that. It's on Book Depository at the moment, and I think it's on Amazon as well. So okay, let's get into it. A lot of people say I talk too much. Alright, so the page that I'm going to do with you guys is this one, and now you can see I already done half of it because there's a lot of repeating element on here, and I don't usually like to do like a full big 8 hours colors along on YouTube, so I will show you section of it, even though of course I will do in real time of that section for you really slowly so you can understand what I mean. Now you can see I already done half of it, which give you a really clear idea of what this page will come out, and at the moment I really love it. And you can request more Polychromos tutorial, and I heard you guys, so of course I'm going to do Polychromo for this one. Now just a heads up, if you have the Swedish version, I find that the Polychromo actually doesn't really work well in this book as a prisma color, and that was really surprised me because the normal Maria Troll, like the previous book, that because I always bought her book in the English version, and the page is actually quite good with the Polychromo. I can even use Derwent artist, which is really hard pencil, which a lot of you guys said you hate the pencil, but I actually really love the pencil in her book. So I'm quite surprised that this one, the Polychromos, behave very different. It's hard, quite difficult for me to layering. Now, of course, these all the colors is really simple, so it's not that unique color. I'm sure you can find it in the Prisma colors as well. And like I always said, when you do color along with me or you watch one of my tutorial, there is absolutely no need for you to go out and buy exactly the same set of colors that I have, or like get the same pencil. Use whatever you have, just use your eyes and see, you know, like what similar colors, and you can use that color. It's gonna be a little bit different, it's gonna have a little bit of you in it, so that's gonna be still good. Alright, so like I said, it's not good for Polychromos that much, but I already did it and I want to show you in Polychromos, just in case you want to use these combinations of color in other pages that you want to use. Of course, you can always use the same color combinations for other books or other pages, so you don't have to exactly use in this one. Alright, but like I said, I just want to show you because I really love how the background turned out at the moment. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so now let's start with the background first, and I'm going in with the mild green. All the color combination will be linked in the description box. I will link all the colors, so you don't really have to hear me carefully. What does that even mean? Like sometimes my accent is not good, so you can look in the description box for all the colors, and maybe when you see the proper name of it, you're easier to understand me. Alright, so my green first, and as you can see on this side, I do all the color merge beautifully together, so going to do layers and layers. Now I love layering in Polychromos, and a lot of people have reached out to me and say they don't really know how to use Polychromos for doing background. It would take you a lot, to be honest. This is a very small background. Usually if you do this in, for example, John Hannah book, it's gonna be take a lot. So I'm going to do this color using the green. In, you can see mostly it's going to be green, but for up here I want to leave a lot of room for it to be more other lighter, brighter colors. So I'm not going to bring out this color too much. So we start off with a little bit of color in the corner, from the corners outward. So I'm gonna fade it out, and you can see I do really light. I have no pressures on here whatsoever. Now if you decided to do exactly of this page with my Polychromos, hopefully the English version will be better, but if you have the Swedish version, or what this original version is, I'm not sure if it's Swedish or not, and you want to use Polychromos more like me, prepare yourself to have a little hard time. So in this book I have to be a bit carefully because how do I show you, there wasn't really any example, but it's sort of create wax glue, and I never have wax bloom. Not really wax bloom, but like scratchy feeling, and it's kind of weird. It didn't layer very well, it didn't take that many layers. The paper, when you feel, is very smooth, so I think that's why the Prisma color is a lot better. You can see when I blend out, I use like a circle motion almost, very small circle. Oh, I forgot to tell you, actually before this, I would like you to take an ivory. I actually already draw it. No, I didn't draw on this side. Sorry about that. So you're going to get an ivory colors or any really light color, and just draw some circle, various different size of circle, if you will. This is one way to do bokeh background. This is a very original way to do bokeh. I don't say original, but like it's very difficult way to do bokeh. But you know what? I don't find it difficult. I just find it take a lot of time, and especially when you use with the Polychromos, it just take more time than usual. I just erase that there because I want one right there. I think that is it. I don't want too many circles. Okay, go back. I'm gonna add it here, the my green. Now this bokeh technique, you don't it a lot simple than other bokeh technique. If you use pencil, there is a way you can do more an advanced bokeh technique, which is require you to even more layering. Here we do very minimum layering. It's still layering, but all the colors is kind of like have its own little world. So our bokeh usually just white, or I do sometimes yellow, but it's not something like too difficult that require you a lot of time, you know. Light phthalo green. So this green is quite different from the migraine that we just did. This green is more on a cooler side. Alright, so make sure you go really light in. With Polychromos, you gotta take your patience. I find it very enjoyable just to sitting here, you know, listen some music, watching some movie, just slowly blending all the color together. For me, it's truly a relaxing art to use the pencil. Very pleasure to use them. I do find them a little bit, they have a little bit more hard time than the Prisma color when it comes to paper. A lot of paper, like cheaper paper, didn't really like them. And you can see, I just blend this color out. Now when you blend this background, if you find that you don't have a lot of control in your hand brushes, I find that if you color contact with the tip, the flat edge of the tip, pencil tip on the paper will help you a little bit with making sure the color is really nice and fading and very flat, and it's a lot nicer than you use like the really pointy. Sometimes it sort of feel like scratchy, you know. especially on this paper. It would be mean to say that like I hate the paper. I don't hate the paper. It's just difficult. Just difficult to use. Alright, I'm going to add a little bit down here. I told you on my Patreon, I just did very similar technique like this. It's a little bit different. We use more colors, and we use more like a blue combinations, and it's require even more layering than this one, to be honest. And it was really shocking. I haven't done this technique in a while. I know how to do it. It's enjoyable, but it takes so much time, and you know I'm lazy. You see my channel is always about easy way, quick. So I never really fond of doing this way. I respect people who can do this. Everyone's put so much time in their coloring page. Sometimes I feel a little bit embarrassed, but you know what? There's nothing to be embarrassed about. I find it just funny, you know. And for the first time in, I don't know, 2 years, I can't recall the last time that I ever really do this way for bokeh background. You know, when I want to do bokeh background, I will use a soft pastel, apply it, and then I just use my eraser to remove the pigment in circle, and that's that done. I should do a video show you how different way you can do bokeh background, just like a summary kind of type video. If this one up here, sometimes I share you technique in like colors along. Sometimes I don't really make like a separate video, but if you want to see like separate video about bokeh, I think I did one with the watercolors and inkjets, I think. So yeah. Alright, sky blue. Now for the sky blue, I want you to be a little bit more careful. Alright, because you blend from green, you blend a blue in the green. Now because the light phthalo green is have a little bit of blue in it, so it's kind of more like a cool tone color. It will easier to blend this color in, so there will not be any that much problem. But however, when you blend this color with this blue, because this green right here is more like a warm green, and this blue is very, very cool, gonna be a little bit harder. So I'll show you. There is not a secret. This is no secret to blend color. It's just all about slowly building up light layer after light layer. And you can see I don't keep my pencil very sharp when I adding this layer down. The initial layer, the really flat initial layer, it's just really flat. A flat tip is the only tip that the flat tip is only tip. Is the only kind of advice that I can give you to make it a little bit easier. Now you have to be really gentle with this. You know why? Because if you're not careful, you can really easily create a brown color. So make sure you go light first, and don't worry, even though this color mid, we're gonna add more other colors on top later, and it will help to make it blend out a little bit easier. But for now, you can see I just really light and blend it, and you can see the initial layer is like almost nothing here, like nothing, just so light, right? And I'll go up here. I would always want to go light color first, and then you would do like a dark color on top of it, because it'll be much easier. Now I'm going to use this color, which is a Derwent artist. This color, the water green, you see me use this color quite a bit, and the reason why I use this color is there is not really any colors in the Polychromos sort of look like this, and this color look like this. And I think for this one, in the prisma color, it look a lot like the gray green light, or very light, a lot lighter version, a little bit more cooler version of the lamp hue. No, not lamp hue, pale sage. All right, so if you use a prisma color, you can use this pale sage or gray green light. They're not exactly shades, some similar like this, but you can see I just fading these colors out, mostly up top here, and you see I blend it in with the blue as well. Now be flexible when you blend colors, where you apply the colors, and when you're blending them, you don't have to do exactly the same as I am. Of course, you can be a bit different. So don't be too stressed if you think like, oh, why my colors is not in the same spot as her. It is coloring. You don't need to like copy exactly. All right. So don't stress about it too much. All I do is just put down color, and I tell you, like, this color put next to this color, because it blend a little bit nicer, easier. And I just want to that much only. So that is the only area we're going to use the ivory. Now I'm going to use a pink, very light pink. I'm going to use the Madeline. Actually, I want a little bit lighter pink, so I don't know why I did put this color away. This is a light magenta, and I'm going to use this with a very light brushes. So as we go in the middle, we're gonna keep it pink, and you can see I blend it nicely into the blue as well. Oh, because the purple you draw, the circle is on the lighter side, sometimes you can't see it, just erase it, because this is an initial layer. If you go light enough, you can erase it really easy, so no need to stress about that. It be fine. I know you guys can do it. You guys are very talented, so don't worry at all. And I will just put this color cover the middle. You can see the middle is just pink, so this is no other colors on top of this really. But again, don't press your pencil. Oh, and if add down a put underneath a layer of paper as well. Just add a piece of paper underneath where you color, because last time I found that this book really loved transferring the ink of the back page onto the next page. Of course you can just use eraser to erase it, but you know what, if you can avoid it, do that. Okay, you can see it's not very smooth, isn't it? It's scratchy, but I'll show you how you can avoid that a little bit later. You can make it look a bit better. Alright, so now let's start to darken up things. I'm going to use a little bit of the earth green yellowish. Now we just go up here first, okay? The bottom is actually quite lazy. No, it's actually easy. So you can see this color is a lot darker. Actually not a lot darker, but like a little bit darker than the matte green. And I'm going to use this. Now we're gonna concentrate the dark color in the corner mostly. And as we blend out, we're gonna use lighter and lighter. So now we're just adding in a little bit of dark color around this flower. So when you color the flower, it makes the flower pop out from the background a little bit better. And you can see I just layering these colors, start to layering them over the top of other colors as well. For example, up here is mostly where the light phthalo green was added, but now I'm adding a little bit of the warm earth green yellowish in. So it just makes them all belong together. Okay, now I'm going back in with the matte green, and what I do, I adding in, and I try to blend the colors out. Now I'm still quite light with my hand. I don't brush it. It will automatically look darker because this is the second layer you added. So no need to like brush your pencil. Oh, the exercise that I show you that you can do to sort of like know your brushes, you get a piece of paper before you do anything. If you're not really sure with your hand brushes, you can use this and just lighten it up and lighten it up. And when you look at this, you have a feeling or like, okay, that's how my hand feel when I do light brushes, and that's when you color in this, and you have a lot better understanding of what you're doing. So I'm going to continue adding in the matte green. You can see I'm starting to go over the blue area now. Okay, so now you see this area is a lot darker now, right? Now I'm going back in with the light phthalo green, and I just added a second layer, and you can see I'm going in and I go back to the area that I layering the earth green on top here. So you can see this area right there. It have multiple colors on top of it. It's creates such a dynamic color transition right there. So that's what you get. Again, really for being patient. I don't think this is bad. You know, like sometimes you just wanna really slow coloring. So I think this is good. Help you relax and you achieve a nice effect. You must feel really proud after this as well. You know, when you spend quite a bit of time on this. Don't my advice is don't overdo it. Like if you see the big page and you think that it's so big, then don't do it. You know, I feel that when you force yourself to do it, sometimes you lose the fun in it, and it just become very redundant. So I bring the color down here as well, just basically darken up most of the base color. Then I'm added. Make sure you go over the main green as well. Just slightly go over it so they blend nicely together. You can see they blend really nice together. If you look at the two pencil, it just doesn't look like it will blend nicely together, right? But that's the beauty of the Polychromos. If you go nice and light layer, I found that pretty much any colors can blend together with the Polychromos. I can't really do that with prisma. Sometimes prisma create really lovely color, but most of the time you can sort of tell when I use prisma I a little bit more safe with my color choices as well. I don't want to like accidentally create a muddy color because the prisma is really easy to merge in together. They're too easy to blend, and when they blend they kind of like this. The Polychromos is like on top of each other, so it show the color underneath, but the prisma is just like when you mix acrylic, it's just everything blending. And you know, in acrylic or watercolor, when you blend too many colors together, you get a brown, and that is what I pretty much find happen in the Prismacolor. I still love them. They're so good for doing big background. Very buttery, make your hand not hurt, even though I don't really hurt using my Polychromos. Only like when I do like long time in, I just sit and continually do it, then of course it's be hurt. Anyone will be hurt. Okay, I'm going back in with the sky blue now. Now, if you find the colors not come out as pigmented as you want, sharpen it a little bit, and you can start sharpen your pencil. This is a second layer, so it's not as I found it you don't have to be as careful as the first layer. The first layer is very important. You know, when you publish the foundation for where all your color going is important to be all nice and smooth and blending. Second and third layer, not really, I don't find. I still go light, but I don't find them as difficult because you already like know roughly where the colors go. when you sharpen the pencil, it's just easier for the pigment to come out. So pretty. The pink and the blue is creates like a really light, sort of lilac purple. Why is there purple and then why is a lilac? Why didn't it just call light purple? And then there's violet. Why there's so many the same word for the same pigment? If you know, let me know in the comment. Is that because it come from different country? Different country use different word for the same pigment? And then they just like, okay, I get this pigment from this country, so I'm just going to these people here, they call this pigment violet, so we're just going to name it violet. Because you know, like how when you get like when you dig jewelry like rubies and stuff, wasn't that like they name after the region or something like that? I don't know. Okay. A little bit up here too. That's look good enough to me. You go back in with the light phthalo green and just do it up here. Have you guys been watching any show, any TV show, anything good? I haven't watched a lot of show at all, but I have been listening to a lot of crime story, like real murdering, and yeah, I love them. Okay, my Patreon probably hear I talk about this for like a month or so already, so they're probably like, shut up. But yeah, you guys didn't know, so I'm gonna tell you. I've been watching a lot of crime, a lot of murder shows. Really scary, really crazy. A lot of people just crazy. Oh, by the way, water green, the Derwent artist. But I love it though. But it gives you a very nerve. I always cut it on edge when I go outside now at night time, by the way. We usually walk our dog at night time to the park, and this park, even though there's a light inside, but it's so dark. So one of the show that I watched recently is it's called The Trial of Gabriel. I don't remember his last name. And I don't want to butcher it, so I'm not gonna say it. But that was very raw, very difficult to watch. There's a lot of things going on. It just show like never-ending problem. Okay, I'm going in with an emerald green now, and I'll just use it for this area right here. Yeah, so if you're interested, watch it. Is about the story of the little boy that got torturing and abused by their by his parents, well, by his mother and her boyfriend. It was so difficult to watch. I don't really cry watching murder, but this case is just cracked my soul. He's definitely not deserve what he has to go through, and he passed away, by the way. It was really good. It's involved a lot of big government. Deep cobalt green. So yeah, you can watch it. You can see I just added in this color. Sorry. I just go back to telling you what to do, what I'm doing. So you can see I'm mostly building up the shadow, and the way I'm building up the shadow is mostly around the object. Like around the leaves here, I'm gonna add a little bit of dark colors to add a little bit more shadow, so when you color in, it stand out. The flower and the stem stand out a little bit more. And you can go back in with the emerald green and blend out the deep cobalt green, because it is rather a dark color, so best to blend it out a little bit. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit up here as well. Actually, yeah, I'm thinking just the emerald green up here. It just depends where you want to do it, but I mostly want to keep the up top here kind of nice and bright. So that's why I'm a little bit hesitant. Now I'm going to add a little bit of it down here. That's look pretty nice. I like that. Now I'm going to use this one, the permanent green olive, and this is quite dark color, so I'm going to add in here. That's look really good. Now I'm going to use a little bit of earth green, yellowish, to just blend these colors out. The permanent green olive, I'm just going to blend the colors out. Okay, and a little bit of my green. And I'm going to use the light phthalo green, and I'm going to use this to lightly add it on top of this green right here, so it will be like a bridge to blend the two colors together, the blue and the my green. I go really light with this, just help it to blend it in. Now I'm gonna go back in with the sky light blue, and I basically just blend it. Okay, I'm going to use a little bit of pink, and you can see I'm sort of darken the area a little bit as well, just around here where the two color merge together. I would say like go with how you feel. If you feel like you want to make it darker in that area, go ahead and do that. If you don't want to, just keep it nice and light. The only thing is, once you make it dark, it's be a little bit more difficult to go back because it already, you know, quite pigmented. When you erase, sometimes it didn't leave up all the colors. Sometimes you erase all your effort of building layer and layer. You have to go back to the beginnings, and it just awkward, just like in the middle, in a spot that's just quite awkward. I like that. Okay, now the top here is sort of done already. Now I'm going to move down here, and for down here, really easy, really straightforward. I'm going to use the earth green yellowish. Mostly down here, if you done follow my step, it's gonna be mostly just green down here. So either you have a little bit of a cooler green or a warmer green, doesn't really matter. It will blend nicely with the earth green yellowish. So I'm going to add this color down. Now you can also start with the mild green as well, and then slowly blend it into the earth green yellowish. You can do that as well. That's going to be just as good. And for this, I'm just going straight in with this. I'm actually going to add a little bit of mild green here, so you can bring down this color a little bit easier. You can see when I'm adding in the mild green, it makes no difference. The mild green is just a lighter version, so it pretty much depends on you if you want to do this. Okay, I'm go back in with the earth green yellowish, and I just adding this down, adding it down a nice layer again. Down here is really easy, trust me. There's not much colors going on down here. Okay, permanent green, olive, and now I'm going in and adding in for the shadow. So basically pretty much how you did with the colors up here, you pretty much do the same down here. You can see I mostly added around, just around the edge of the object, or like at the bottom. Mostly come from the bottom because we want the bottom going to be dark. I think I'm gonna go around these leaves as well. Let's look good. Let's see, I zoom it in a little so you can sort of see a little bit easier, because we already done the top half. Now because I know that I don't really add much more color, I can do a little bit more brushes and just keep it nice and dark. I got some on the shirt of this little girl. What do you think what color of her hat and her glaze will be? What color that pop out between the green? I think red. Red will be nice, I guess. Blue, dark blue is good too. I think that is it for this color for now. We can go back later and add some more, but for now I think that's enough. And I'm going in with this one. This one is a chrome oxide green, so it is quite a lot darker than all the color that we have been using. So we're just adding this. Right at the bottom, mostly at the bottom. Sorry, just blowing the pencil dust. That's pretty okay. I'm adding a few here as well. I love coloring flower, and you know, just under the sea themes and stuff. And I think my favorite artist, of course, is Johanna Basford, but I found that sometimes I get bored. Yeah, it's not, I'm not bashing her or anything, you know, but sometimes you keep coloring the same style, you get quite bored. When I get bored, I color Maria Troll, because her style is very different from Johanna Basford, but she also do a lot of flowers. So I also like Hannah Calzone as well. You know the artists, I colors a lot in their book. I don't tend to buy like new book of other new artists. I think because I didn't know. I don't really know about them. There, I think that's look really nice. Add a lot of depth to this. I'm thinking adding a little bit. Yeah, I'm just going to add a little bit of the chrome oxide green that we just used up here, you know. So let's have it connect all the color together. I'm going to add a little bit down here as well, around here. Just want it to be quite dark there, and I think that's look really nice. Now I'm going to add just a tiny bit of black, just black colors around here. I go quite light because I don't want it to be too dark and then you see it black colors. I just want to make it a little bit darker, and usually I won't use a black. I'm gonna use different color, but like I say, this paper doesn't like layering too much, so I use black because it's really dark. It gives me instant effect that I want without like layering too much. Just kind of think, did I tell you how long did I take to do this sort of background, but for the page I did on Patreon? I think I was about to say, but then I changed the topic and then I forgot. It's happened to me a lot lately. It's like I have short-term memory loss or something. I'm turning to a Dory. Okay. It took me 3 hours. There, see, I forgot again. Okay, now I'm going to use my secret weapon. Not secret weapon, I never really use Blender. You know me, you never see me use Blender. But in these circumstances where it creates like, you see this ugly piece, not really smooth color, I'm going to use a Derwent blender. I never really try other blender. I don't really know how they react, so I can only recommend the Derwent. And for your information, I don't like the Derwent blender with other pencil than Polychromos. It usually creates smudges instead of blending, but for Polychromos, for some reason, I guess because it's oil, the oil helps it blend better. It just worked for me. So I'm going to use that, and I will show you in close up how smudgy it looks. You can see this area looks so ugly, and what I do is I want you to clean up your blender first, to just scratch it on a piece of paper. Make sure you get all the edges, you know. Sometimes it's have the colors like that from the previous blending. You don't want to bring those color into here. So I will start from the purple and the blue first because I don't want to contaminate it with the green. So what I'm going to do, I'm going lightly blending it in, just adding, pretty much use a little bit of brushes to adding in. Now you can see I mostly like to keep my blender nice and flat. I don't like to keep it pointy. I found the pointy sometimes create funny texture. And there you go, it's a little bit more blending, but you can still see it not as good. Is if you use this in a technique in a different paper, it will a lot better. Just on this paper, it's not very nice. It's not a good example on how the Polychromos can be, but I already did half of the page, and I just want to show you, even though the paper is not good, there is still way for you to achieve really nice effect. There's nothing to be upset about. So you can see I'm blending, blow off the dirt. I really like that. Look a lot nicer, look a lot smoother on this area. You can sort of see the difference if you do this on your own. You can tell they kind of smush all the colors together. Now I'm gonna go in onto the blue, not blue, green. I can't even tell what color that is now. Okay, green. Let's see this area. It's not magical. It's not like make me, oh wow, they blend so nice. I know that there is a solution. You can use that as well. I think it's called Zested or something like that. I don't just oil blending or solution like that in my book, because oil sometimes if you're not used to it, it can use quite a bit and you can bleed through your book. So if you, for example, if you bleed marker or other colors, you can pretty easy cover it with black acrylic, you know, just make the background black, I guess. But I found that with oil, I'm scared that I cannot fix it. So nope, no oil in my book for me. If you're a master of using it, or you can watch other colorists as well. I know that a lot of other colorists use it, not just for me. You can see it's blend this area so nicely. You can see it's smudged and it's nice. It's so blending. But don't rely entirely on this pencil, okay? Sometimes it can act up. So the less you have to blend, the better. So make sure you go in already nice layer with your pencil. So you just have to kind of add a little bit of boost to this. This is just like cherry on top of your cake. So don't rely on it too much. You have to make the cake nice flavor too, you know. Can't just eat cherry, even though I would like to eat some cherry right now. I can't eat a lot of cherry though. I love cherry. It tastes so good. We don't get cherry where I come from, so when I come here, cherries and strawberry and blueberry is all. I feel so blessed to be able to eat those fruits here, that they're so nice. The only thing is, I remember this when I first come here, and oops, sorry, didn't even show you. When I first come here in Australia, the first year I stay here, I get to try cherry the first time, and it's so good. I eat so much that I end up have a nosebleed. That was so weird. I don't know if this is like Western people say it too, or other people say it too, but like in Western we have things like they say you the colors you eat is kind of good for that part on your body. So if it's red, it's good for your blood. That's very silly, isn't it? Alright, so I am done. I kind of didn't create one of the circle here. Let me show you, see if you can erase it. See, you can erase it, but you can tell that compared to with the other one really nice and bright, this one is like, you know, just have the color of it underneath, but you can still erase it. It's not like completely not an option. You can still do it. Okay, I think that is it for now. Oh my god, this spot doesn't want to erase. Okay, now let's zoom out again, and you can see we have this beautiful background. I know it seems like I only do half, but the other side it's pretty much do the same. So I feel like no point in repeating it. I just want to make it quick for you guys. Okay, now I'm going to use the light yellow. You can use any yellow you have. I like the lightest yellow that you could find, you know. And I will add it in for some of the circle. Go quite light. There's no need to press the pencil at all. Okay, and I'll use a prisma color white. You know that I love the prisma color white, so I'm going to use it. And what I do here, I just blend it. I blend the yellow, so make it even lighter. And I just added in the white for the rest. You can also use this ivory as well. Just add it in. White, ivory, it's pretty much the same. I don't find it very different for me. Maybe the ivory is a little bit more subtle, maybe a bit more darker, but you know what I mean. It doesn't bother me that it's different, because to me it doesn't look that different. But yeah, there you go. Nice bokeh background. Look like you spent hours on it, and yes you did. Okay, so that is it for today's tutorial. I'll come back next one and we do the flower and the rest. Oh, maybe before that, let's do this grass, because why not? There's only a few here. I am going to use the color that we already been using. So I don't like to add too many colors in the page, especially for something like this. We have so many colors already. If you add more color, it's more likely turn into like a rainbow, which is nothing wrong with that. I just don't feel like coloring rainbow at the moment. So let's do the grass. So I start with the light phthalo green and just add it at nearly the top, but I will leave a little bit so we can add a little bit of yellow. And then I'm going to use a light yellow glaze. This is the light yellow we use for the actual circle, the circle light, the light circle. Alright, then I'm going to use the emerald green, added it down, blend in, really simple. And I'm going to use this one, the deep cobalt green at the bottom. You can sort of tell that I leave a little bit of area in the middle. I'll show you why. I added a little bit in here too because it's like right in the shadow, you know, just make it a little bit darker. And around here, and then I'm going to use the hookah green and I blend everything together. And this is all to it. We miss a little here. Oh, there you go. So you have your grass, you have the background done. That is how it look. I really love how this so far. I'm only gonna do in the small one, so but if you want to do like the whole page, you can do that. It just take you a lot longer. But yeah, I hope you have fun with this one. I hope you learn something new, and I will see you in the next time. In the meantime, take care and happy coloring. Bye.